Fringe.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday and welcome back into the Fringe. I am your host, Derek Smith, coming to you live from my game room once again. And tonight we got a good roundtable going on tonight. We've got none other than the Pleb joining us once again. He's a friend of the show. He's been here before. A couple of things we want to talk about with him, and we got some good stuff for you guys tonight coming in. Possibly Clydedosomething jumping in as well. I just want to take a minute to address the chat as we jump into the stream. Severo, I'm just reading the latest Twitter files. Looks damning. I bet it is. We'll jump into that at some point. Kaide went to a small private event with me yesterday. She ended up signing several books. It turns out they actually bring them places. Well, Kaide, if you don't know, is my 18-year-old illustrator who's done such hits as How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom, One Face, Two Face, Black Face, Blue Face, as well as our newest limited run release of How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom, the Government Transparency Edition, which is only available for another couple of weeks. It's only available till January 15th, and then it is gone forever. So if you guys are into collector's items, make sure you grab those quickly, because once they're gone, they are gone forever. Jason jumping in. Let's all talk shit about Justin. Hey, maybe we'll get to that. Nathan jumping in. What's up, Unexcited? What's up, Nathan? Guys, Nathan's here. We can get started. Let's jump in. I've got some Super Baller theme music. Well, Severo, you would know because you wrote it. Severo, very talented musician who did my theme music and a lot of other stuff for the channel. But let's jump right into the interview, shall we? I don't want to leave this man waiting any longer because, my God, we're just thrilled to have him here. Twitter and now YouTube prominent content creator, the Pleb, joining us live. Pleb, how you doing, man? Welcome back to the channel.
I'm loud here. One sec. Just give me a sec. Let me just get that mic nice and right. How do I sound right now? Do I sound good?
You sound fantastic, my friend. We're all waiting, and we've all got our G-Wagons in the driveways ready to sit and chat with a good old Pleb. How is your G-Wagon these days? You getting good mileage?
I got rid of my G-Wagon after a few hours. I had fun with Mr. G-Wagon today.
Yeah.
Man, that guy got wrecked. That guy got wrecked hard. He got ratio. I must have ratioed that guy at least 50 times in like the last 24 hours.
I only caught like the last quarter of it. So how did that all become? How did that all start?
He was attacking me for putting out a support link for my content, calling me a grifter, and I just proceeded to destroy him really badly.
Right. So the tweet that I jumped on board was when I seen him posting his G-Wagon, of course, and saying, when you can get one of these.
I got in his head so bad that he replied to me with a picture of his Mercedes. That's like how hard I got in his head. He's like showing pictures of his car.
I always love when that happens. Like you can always tell people are insecure
when they reply with a picture of their car, right? Like,
well, any of that stuff.
He said, "At me when you can afford one of these." That was his response.
Right. I love the flex. Like it's just like I see it all the time in the game collecting community with arcades. Like anytime I talk about, hey guys, I got a new machine, and there's always some asshole who jumps in online and is like, oh, talk to me when you collect real arcades and you can afford $15,000 pinball machines. And it's like, buddy, come on. Like nobody cares. Like, do you hate your life that much that you need?
It's sad, isn't it?
Validation. Like, come on,
man. When you make your whole identity a car, you're kind of a loser.
Well,
like,
it's
not only we ratioed this guy horrendously. He took a beating yesterday. We found out like this guy has like his both his cars as like his cover photo on Twitter. You know, has both his Mercedes, you know. That kind of guy, you know.
It makes sense. I mean, I had a good time watching it. I had a good time going through the comments.
Twitter had a fun time with that. Every once in a while, Twitter will just gift you a dumbass like this guy, and it's a gift. It's a gift for the trolls. Truly.
It's a treasure trove, especially since Elon took over. I find like it's just we're winning.
Like a weak animal in the safari that's dying, and then all the predators just jump on it. You know. This guy was in uncharted territory last night on Twitter. So what's going on? What's going on with your book? How's your book go? How's your second book moving?
Well, the second book, I mean, it's a little slow, but you know, it's also the Christmas season, and I've always said that I think what's going on is that a lot of people with this year and inflation and the cost of living and everything that's going on, I tend to stand back and just say, you know what, we're happy to get the support wherever we can get it. And there's no rush. Like those books are going to be available forever. And they're doing good. Don't get me wrong. It's not as fast out of the gate as the first book, but we've done okay with it. And everybody who's read it told me they're
that was
enjoying
viral,
it.
right?
The first one was viral.
Your first book was like mega viral, right? Like, so to have expectations of it to do as well as the first, I think is setting the bar a little high, because that, man, everything went right for that first book, right? Like,
and that's fair. Yeah. We projected to do at least 25%.
Okay, that's a fair number.
And we said this will show us what our average audience will be going forward if we don't have a viral book. Now, that being said, I think a lot of it is that because that book went viral, we sold more copies because more people were aware of it. We've done less advertising with this book. Again, it was more to see who is our casual audience that just loves our books, that wants to get in. As time goes on, we're going to advertise a little bit more. I think when our book about Tamara comes out in February, I think that one will probably go viral. And I think part of that is because the second book was just like,
will it go viral? You think the Tamara book will go viral? It'll definitely sell within the freedom community in Canada for sure.
I think it'll go viral, and here's why. I think the first book went viral
in Canada or within
definitely
Canada?
Definitely beyond Canada. Okay. I'll tell you why. I think the first book went viral. We sold copies all over the world of the first book. And I think the reason that it went viral was because there's controversy. It's as Jimmy Fallon says, there's a lot of controversy. Controversy sells books. And
of
a
course.
lot of people hate Justin Trudeau. He's got a bad reputation around the world. And when the left side of the field tend to speak up and say, oh, look at this guy selling these books. Look at this content. Look at him poking at COVID. It just gets more people interested that aren't as offended as these people. It stirs up tweets. It stirs up videos and TikToks of people complaining about it. It just gives us more attention.
You have more of a chance of going viral if you do an Elon Musk book, for real. Like, I think that's your play too. That was a genius idea. That's
so that's our plan.
Viral again.
Well, and I think, like, again, the second book, I kind of just put the feelers out after the first one went viral and said, what does everybody want to see for a second book? And people came back and said, oh, do Jagmeet, do Chrystia Freeland, do all this. So we just said, look, let's do one where we'll just poke fun at them all, and then it's done. Right? We don't have to. It's not to say we're never going to do a political book again, but it's just, it gets it all out in one book, and then we can move on to the things that, again, are more controversial.
If you could touch like Elon or Donald Trump, both of those names would probably go viral in a book illustrated by you.
I think so.
Like your style of book.
Yeah. So Tamara, I think, will do well because, again, there's the controversy there. I think the left will get their arms up in the air about it, and because believe me, she's probably got more enemies than people who love her, and a lot of people love her. So I think when that book comes out, as soon as people see some success, they're going to start complaining about it. It'll spread the word. I don't want to predict what's going to happen with it. That's the way I think.
Do you think Tamara Leach is a household name?
Absolutely. She's known worldwide. She's made national news. I mean, she's not just somebody who organized a convoy. She's a figurehead at this point. She is still discussed on international news, and I'm glad.
I'm wondering if I could go to my random family members, ask them if they know who Tamara Leach is, if they'd be able to answer that question. I bet you it would probably be half of them, but
it's funny you say that.
What
my mother-in-law. So my mother-in-law does not watch the news. She doesn't have cable television. She doesn't participate on Twitter or social media. But as soon as I mentioned Tamara Leach to her, she knew exactly who she was. So word travels, and I think. Again, this book, I know you haven't read it yet, but I think we captured the essence of what we wanted to do with her. She loved the book so much, said she was almost in tears, which is good. That means we did our job.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to everybody getting a chance to read that in February.
Man, I
think it's going to do.
For sure.
I think so. And then we're going to move on to Elon. So, I think that one, it's with Elon, it's a matter of what we're going to call it. I was going to do like a Horton Here's a Who parody and call it Elon Here's a Tweet. Or we were going to do a parody of Dr. Seuss's Are You My Mother and call it Are You My Twitter. So I don't know where we're going to go with it yet, but I've got some dialogue in the works for the book.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I basically want to do a book about how all the celebrities, all the political figures, everybody are losing their minds over the purchase of Twitter, the Twitter files, the doxing, like all that stuff, the journalist bans. Like there's so much material to dig in that book.
Definitely aim for controversial topics. I think that's the best way to do parody on things that are really controversial, really polarizing.
Yeah,
that's where you're going to have your best shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Elon Musk idea is brilliant. I think a Trump idea in the future would be really brilliant, especially as we get closer to the camp, especially if he wins primary and like he's our guy. Like, ooh.
I'm not sure how Trump's going to do in that election, to be honest, because
Ooh.
I I'm going to come out and say I like Donald Trump, but what I'm going to say is that I'm not going to say politically because I'm not an American. I don't have a hat in the race for that one. So I'm not going to say I know anything about his politics. What I will say is I've liked Donald Trump for a long time. I did a business report on him in business school on the art of the deal.
Yeah.
And I used to watch The Apprentice all the time. Like, I really liked his style. His business approach is what you need to be successful in business. It shows why he's as wealthy as he is. Because look, his old term that there's nothing personal about this, it's just business. It's the way the corporate world works. And if you can't be a little ruthless, if you can't be a little, I got to look after me before everybody else, you're not going to succeed in the business world. And that's where I give him a lot of respect in that universe. But again, I don't know anything about his politics or policies or anything because I'm Canadian. I don't follow any of that stuff.
You don't follow American politics?
I try to follow a little bit, but just not a lot.
I only started following Canadian politics closely because of especially like COVID. Before that, it was only American politics for me. Canadian politics did not too boring.
I followed a lot of the drama in U.S. politics, but the thing about American politics I find is that a lot of people get their arms up in the air about Trump. But what they don't realize, especially if you don't live in the United States, is that Trump wasn't the one making all the rules, or it's usually the senators and governors that are doing all the rules for each state. And the president, aside from war policy or tax or a few other things, like, they really don't have a lot of things to do that affect people's lives in general. They do less that affects people's lives than, say, the Canadian federal government. Because much like you see with Danielle Smith now pushing back against the feds, it's up to each state to decide their own laws, their own rules, their own tax, their own policies. It's just funny that you see guys now like Rob Reiner. I don't know if you follow his Twitter.
Yeah, I know Rob Reiner is a disaster.
Ever since Trump said he was running again, it's every tweet Trump. Like, the guy just won't quit, man.
Though, because if he probably stops talking about Trump, he's going to lose followers. So
yeah,
they understand. And like, even Alyssa Milano, I think that's why she attacks Elon Musk. Her engagement goes down when she stops attacking him.
I don't know how much she'll be attacking him ever since she mentioned that she bought that Volkswagen, though. I mean,
I looked at her engagement numbers leading up until she announced that she bought the Volkswagen. She was like bleeding for like 7 days in a row, followers. Yep. Then she announces that she sold her Tesla for a Volkswagen because she can't support white nationalism and Nazis, and like, just absolutely absurd, right? Like, it's just fucking crazy. But I don't know. I don't want to swear on your channel. I don't know if you. Oh,
I don't care, man.
It's fucking crazy. She's batshit, but like, that's playing to her base. Her base is those batshit, leftists, and yeah. And yeah, of course she gained followers that day where she said she went and bought her Volkswagen. She loves the Volkswagen, eh? And then people went and dug up old tweets. They dug up old tweets of Elisa where she's like simping to Elon, like, you are such a genius. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's too funny how these people just they flip at the snap of a finger, eh? Like, they go from liking someone to not liking someone because that's what their political party tells them to do.
Well, and again, like I said, it sells. Drama sells, and she knows that, right? They all know this, right? Like Kathy Griffin. I don't know. You remember the
pumpkin, the
head. Yeah,
yeah.
Essentially, it torpedoed her career. But I mean, she knew going in, like, she may not feel that way in her personal life, but like, I know she doesn't like Donald Trump, but she probably didn't agree with what she was doing fully, but she knew it was going to cause a controversy and stir the pot and hopefully put her in the limelight for a little while. I mean, these guys all know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing for sure. 100%. It's probably their managers telling them to go and tweet these things, telling them what's going to be good.
Oh yeah. They got a whole team of PR people and reps and management. And
wonder how many of these people really tweet themselves. I bet you Kanye's been tweeting himself recently. Kanye West.
Well, I know.
I bet you Elon for sure tweets his own shit.
Yeah.
Do you think like okay? How about we'll play? Do you think they tweet their own shit? Politics. Mark Garrettson probably tweets his own
I would
tweets,
think
right?
so. Yeah, I would think so.
Justin Trudeau.
No.
Omar.
Well, okay. So here's the thing with Trudeau. Trudeau.
Trudeau.
I was going to say Omar. I said Trudeau. With Trudeau, I think some of his tweets, like the other day when he put out that horribly ratioed "Tell me what you want to hear from me" video. Yeah,
no, it's ask me a question. Looked like he filmed that on his phone.
Yeah, so I believe he posts things like that, but these guys, for the most part, they all have assistants and people that handle that stuff. That I'm willing to bet they've got PR people that, again, they know what's trending, they know what is going to get them likes or
it was wild
attention.
Because Pierre put out an absolute massacre on him. I don't know if like you saw that video he put out maybe an hour and a half before. It was the video like Canada's broken video.
Yeah,
like
yes.
like demolished the Liberals, demolished Justin Trudeau, especially after Trudeau had that press conference the day before where he was like crying that Canada's broken, Canada's not broken, You saw the press conference. Polyev comes out and demolishes him in that video. That video started going viral. That video had like 5,000 likes in under an hour or something, and possibly even more. And like by Twitter standard, it's pretty friggin' good. And I think the Liberals panicked because they knew his video was about to go viral. And they went. Justin's like, okay, what do we do? What do we do to distract?
Yeah.
Pull out the cell phone. Okay, let's make a video asking Canadians if they have a question for you. Just like a complete. And they have to know how he has to know how hated he is, or at least like his social media team has to know how absolutely despised he is. So they knew that could create a distraction, and they played it pretty smart, to be honest.
So those tech and algorithm people, those networking people, they'll know how everything works and what they think is going to land. Either, like, again, for Justin, even to get ratioed in that video, it puts him out there, right? It gets him, again, just like with the book, getting the left all riled up, it means sales. It's the same for us. As soon as we tweet things out, like I tweeted, hey, I'll ask you a question. Will you sign my book when I come back? I got 2,000 likes on that tweet and something like 100 and some odd retweets. Like, it gets people stirred up, and that's what they're looking for, is the attention. They want to keep the name in the spotlight. And I think like he knows the hate that's going to come as soon as he posts that. Like,
of course.
But it keeps them relevant, right? And
I think it was a pure distraction from the Pierre video. I really do. And
of course
they know if he posts a video like that, it's going to go viral. Everyone on the internet's going to trash him. They knew. Then they played it smart. And
so I know when summer approached, how the Prime Minister Stole Freedom first went viral, Preston Manning reached out to me and said, I really like, he was in charge of his books that he's doing and everything that he's doing going forward as a retired MP, but he kind of kicked off Pierre Poilievre's political career. And he stays in touch with him and knows his people and everything else. And that's when he introduced me to his party and called and said, the book went viral and he's doing his leadership campaign. And, we'd really like to try and, reach out and maybe see if his people will do a video with you for his campaign and kind of see the lighter side of Pierre and the funny side of him, because he's usually very serious. And it was around the time they were filming that infamous video where Pierre sat down for breakfast with Justin Trudeau.
Yes, breakfast with Justin.
Yeah, so they filmed that in June, and I think they released it late July or early August. But they wanted to do something, and his schedule was full. But a lot of it, again, was, well, there's trucker stuff in the book. Does that say we stand with the convoy? Is that going to be bad for numbers? They had a whole team that went over each page of my book and decided good, bad, what do we want to do? And Pierre kept insisting, do a video. But his people said no. And it's funny because even when that day when I met you in Ottawa, when I went to meet with Pierre, like I asked his assistant, can I give him a copy of my book to sign for me just so I can put it on my wall with our photo together? And at first they were like, yeah. And then he went away and came back and comes out and says, no, we're not going to do it now. So it's not that Pierre doesn't want to do these things. It's that he's got a whole team.
Of course.
Tell him
Yes.
If this gets out, it's bad for you. It's good for you. It's this, it's that. So, I mean, I
Everything's
honestly think
calculated.
when it comes to politicians, like I know people like Melissa Landsman, I know she tweets for the most part on her own, right? She's also the deputy to Pierre Poilievre, so I don't know for how long that'll stay that way. People like Leslyn Lewis, I mean, she had an assistant that kind of manages just about everything when I met with her, so I think it varies based on where they are in the political spotlight as to who tweets for them.
That's
or
true.
If
That's
they
true.
tweet
If
on their own.
they're top of, man, Amnesty in the chat says that she doesn't trust Pierre Poilievre and she thinks he's a puppet. I get that a lot.
So I get that too, and I'm going to be honest. So when I sat down with Pierre, here's the thing. And I've said it before. I think I've actually said it when I was on your spaces. He's an opportunist. There's a reason O'Toole took over for Scheer and Pierre didn't jump in then. And he says, while I was building my family, I was having babies and I didn't want to, be occupied with politics while raising a family. It has nothing to do with that. It's all strategy. And it's
he knew it wasn't the time then, and
exactly.
now he saw it now as the right time.
So when I've watched his political career over the last 7 years, because right around the time Andrew Scheer took over was when Pierre started to stand up more, speak out more. And it was shortly after Justin Trudeau took office that he started really projecting himself out there. And what I've noticed is the same kind of guy from day one. He's strategizing, he's picking his spots, and he knows what he's doing. Now, I don't trust any politician. I'm going to be quite frank. I don't care if it's Maxime Bernier, Pierre Poilievre, Justin Trudeau.
You'd have to be an idiot to literally trust any politician, right? At this point,
I don't know them personally. I don't.
Even the PPC people are like, yeah, Maxime, man. You guys start thinking everyone's gonna be your savior. Pierre's gonna save you. Maxime's gonna save you.
Yeah,
man, you guys need to wake up.
So whenever I vote, I always say, what side of the devil do I want? And what I mean by that is whenever these guys get in, they've all got their agendas, they've all got their policies, they all got
their friends that get rich too when they get in.
Absolutely.
Whose palms get grease. Yeah.
Yes. So when I look at Pierre,
every administration, whether it's liberals, conservatives, there's a lot of shady deals, no matter who's in power. There's going to be shady deals on both sides. You're not just because they're conservatives or less shady, liberals less shady. They all have rich friends that get rich when they get in power.
That's kind of the thing. So what I'm looking at when I go to vote, what I look at all the time is policy, not the person, but policy. Pierre's talking about removing carbon tax and investing in renewable energy. I'm good with that because I've said a million times over, paying taxes is not going to solve the problem.
No,
I agree with green energy. I agree with electric. I agree with all these things. The problem is we're not there yet, and we do need to invest in learning the technology so that at one point we can move away from fossil fuels. It's just not now. So if he's going to go that route, I support that. He's talking about lower taxes and maybe incurring higher taxes on the rich. I agree with that. Look, as somebody who had to incorporate for the purpose of paying less taxes, I get it. I get why people get frustrated with the rich because all these guys pay a fraction in taxes to what the average person who goes to a 9-to-5 pay when it comes to taxes on their check.
That's true.
And I agree with taxing the rich. I agree with if you make more, you should pay more. So, I mean, when he talks about those policies, when he talks about, we want to lower people's utility costs and deregulate things and have an open market. I agree with those things too. The pipelines, we need to invest in our resources and get our products to market because here's the thing. People in other provinces outside of Alberta, like Alberta gets it because we're a have province. We have the resources. We've seen boom periods. So we get the industry, but what people in Quebec, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, and I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying the average person who complains about oil and gas, what they don't realize is that Alberta has to share that wealth with the rest of the country. And if we could get our product to market, we're all going to do better. And if they knew anything about oil and gas, pipeline is a lot safer than rail. It's one of the safest ways to transport oil in the world. And again, if it's something we absolutely need to survive, get it out there. Let's get it to market. Let's keep everybody paid, everybody happy.
I don't trust the electric cars at all. I think there's some very evil agendas
they're not there
behind
yet.
these electric cars. No. I mean, like, there's like controlling narratives behind them. The fact that they have more control over your life when you're on an electric car than if you're on a gas.
But that's vehicle. So look at gasoline.
They could shut down. They'd start doing it in Switzerland. They say when the grid's overloaded, you guys can't charge your cars.
Exactly. So, and that's what I was about to get to. Like, if you look at gasoline, like in the summertime, every summer, gas shoots up and people go, well, it's an increase in demand. It's an increase in people going on holidays. And, we don't have enough supply to go around. So we're charging more. And you're charging more because people are going on holidays. You can make more profit. Once everybody shifts from gasoline to electric, it just shifts from one hand to another. It's now no longer the oil and gas guys making all the money. It's the electric companies.
Yeah.
And they can start saying, oh, it's peak summer season. Everybody's running their air conditioners. Everybody's going places. They got to charge their cars. So we're going to start charging skyrocketing electric bills. It just moves from one to another. It's exchanging hands. And that's where
trolls saying here in the chat here. I'm just reading some of these troll. I want to play along with the chat because we got some like super based PPC bros here in the chat tonight, and they're always hating on me. Sorry, I'm reading their question. I wanted to be interactive with them instead of just us rambling too long here. What was he saying? Sorry, they got me on.
Let's go up. Let's
once. Okay, no, the one that really that distracted me from your rant there was where the fuck did it put? Polyev campaigned on vaccine mandates and said nothing about it for 2 years.
Oh, here we go.
When did he campaign on vaccine mandates?
I don't remember seeing that either.
I followed the entire leadership race for the Conservative Party, and he never once was vaccinated. I don't think there was never one mention of vaccines or vaccine mandates. I'm pretty sure he said freedom of choice, like during the CPC leadership race.
We all want there to be, I'm just going to read this one from Manny. We all want there to be someone who will be our champion and fight back against tyranny, and Pierre is not that champion. Research his affiliations. Ask yourself why Harper is supporting him. I honestly don't believe that Stephen Harper was that terrible. Did he have some stupid policies? Yeah, but I don't think he was awful for Canada. When you compare him to somebody like Trudeau again, I don't think he was horrible.
Holy shit.
Like
it's like globalist and globalist light, in my opinion.
He also reduced the GST from 7% to 5%. Like I don't think he did horrible things. CB, yo, welcome into the stream, man. We are 50 years out from any significant green energy tech that can power a city year round. Nuclear power is going to be more prominent. Yes. I tend to agree. Yeah. Oh, here's the answer. Because he campaigned as a base conservative, but became basically O'Toole supporting escalation in the Ukraine.
I mean, man, don't know, bomb. Like, you're not wrong. You're like not wrong about that. I think we all kind of got honey dick there in the leadership race where he came out pretending to be some super base guy. Definitely a letdown in that regards, like in terms of him being based. I'm still supporting him for other reasons, like my wallet, my country's future, the energy sector. There's a lot of things like I think Pierre is a politician. He's a good politician. He says what he has to do to get elected, and that's what good politicians do. That's how they win. And I don't trust him. Like, I don't trust. He's a politician to me, but I don't trust Bernier the same way. I don't trust Trudeau the same way. I know that he has core values about him that he's going to stick to that are important to me, like low regulation, low government, low taxes, pipelines will reopen. These are things that I value. I don't care if he's not going to fight, a teacher with fake tits in the middle of Ontario. It matters to me. Obviously, that kind of stuff is sick to me, but like if it means like actually beating the Liberals at the next election, if we don't touch an issue like that, I'm not going to cry about it. Like we really, really, really got to get back down to small government, get this WEF clause off our country, small government, and we got to get this energy sector going again because we have the biggest debt. With 7 years, he doubled the country's debt. So he collected more debt
money than every prime minister
combined. Exactly. So he combined more than every. Like, how are we going to pay for that? You guys ever owed money to a bookie You guys ever owed money to a bookie in the streets? You know how like juice works and VIGs and like interest, you know, like we're going to have like a gigantic debt that we owe money we're just going to be paying off interest. We're going to be paying down our capital. Like our kids are going to just be paying interest on these really, really, really bad loans. And I think the only way we get out of this is getting our energy sector back. Truly.
Well, it's not just the energy sector. See, like the best thing that I was going to bring out on that is that what we were talking there about.
Maybe not the only thing, but it's the fastest solution to getting us towards.
And that's just it.
It's one of the steps.
What I look at when I'm voting for a guy like Pierre is, does this mean my life can go back to the way it used to be? Can I afford things again? Because right now, the way things are right now, who can afford to live like this aside from the very wealthy, right? You've got people right now. There was an article that came out the other day in Calgary.
Yes, I did my groceries today, man. Good question. Who can afford to live like this?
Well, our utility bill went from
crazy
$275 last month to $525 this month.
Wow.
And they're a month behind, so I haven't even seen what December is going to be.
Yeah, you haven't even been in the cold months yet.
Yeah,
you're about to get effed.
And that's like there was an article that came out in Calgary the other day about how there's people in their homes wearing snow pants and their jackets, and they're just putting in enough heat that their pipes don't freeze because they can't afford it. And I'm sitting here going, okay, so we can't keep living like this. So what is the solution? And that is, look, I don't trust government. Who I trust is myself. Let me deal with my family under my roof and what's best for us. And I want a government that's going to leave me alone. And that's a guy like Pierre. He's going to put in his policies. He's going to do what he's going to do, but he's not going to tell me I got to stay inside. He's not going to tell me I can't go to work. I can't make a living and I still owe them money.
Some guy in the chat just told you to turn your arcade machines off with these electricity bills right now. With these energy prices. Honestly, close those machines down.
They hardly take up any electricity, to be honest. They're very low power.
Oh man.
It's
I don't know what the consumption is on those things. They look like they would take a lot of juice.
Well, I was talking to my neighbors.
It's like 4 old CRT televisions, right? Like just old
so these are
televisions.
These are all LED though, so they don't suck.
Oh, okay, fancy.
Right? So
so that's the evolution of arcades. You guys are putting LED panels inside them now instead of like.
Speaking of arcades, I just over there. I just NFL Blitz this week, and I've
NFL Blitz, man. When I was like in the 6th grade, we go play NFL Blitz. We play Mortal Kombat 2. NFL Blitz. Yeah, we'd go to the pool hall. We'd play some NFL Blitz. We'd gamble. Man, we were gambling at a young age back then.
It's funny because this Dragon's Lair one that's next to me, I just upgraded from the first wave of that machine because this one looks a little bit more like a traditional arcade than the old one, and it's got some features. They're going to add light guns and stuff, so I wanted the newer version. So I just bought this machine, and my wife kept saying no more machines, and promise me we don't have any more room. And then this buddy of mine that I helped out this year, he had some money issues. He works over at Best Buy. He got this NFL Blitz below cost, and he showed up and says, "Hey, I know I paid you back, but I really appreciate the help that you gave me this year." And he says, I picked up this NFL Blitz for you. And I said, I promised my wife no more machines. And she came home from work and just seen it in the corner, and she's just like, I'm not talking to you. I'm like, but it's NFL Blitz. Like, how do you? And we didn't pay for it. I didn't buy another machine, right? It was donated, right? So it's we'll see how long it makes it there. But I do want to jump on one thing, because we have none other than Clyde do something.
All right,
Clyde's jumped in. Clyde, how are you, man?
Fellers, how are you?
What's going on, Clyde?
You, buddy?
Not much, man. I was hanging out. We went to the Rents place yesterday, and my mother-in-law is visiting us now in our home. And then I got the message, and I was like, okay, sorry, I got to drop everything I'm doing. I know you came all the way from Japan, but wow, the Pleb needs 1,000 subs.
No, I don't need 1,000 subs, man. I'll get 1,000 subs. I wanted to do a stream tonight, man. Thanks for hanging out.
No, I'm kidding. No, we were just relaxing, and then I got the invite, and I'm glad I was able to make it.
I do want to throw that into the chat really quick, because that's the one thing we haven't got to yet, is that Pleb has moved from, he's expanded from Twitter onto YouTube. I'm going to put his channel.
We can't just be in one place.
Right there.
No, you cannot do that.
Jump onto Pleb's YouTube there, hit the link, subscribe to his channel. If you love his content on Twitter, even if you don't know about him on Twitter, this is where you want to be, because goddamn, Pleb's great, and he touches on some good stuff.
You got to return the favor. I need to get to 10,000 Pleb on Twitter.
Let's go. There. For sure. Let's get you to
I'm gonna
10K
get verified
on
on YouTube here.
Twitter's a tricky game, man. You got to be active on Twitter. Like you got to be grinding. You got to be active. If you want to
do that on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Twitter is not like I can make one comment a day, walk away, and then my follower count. You have to grind, man. It's a grind on Twitter for real. But yeah, the reason I did the YouTube channel is because the way you archive videos on Twitter, man, it's like hard to go back and find a video that you liked, from like 6 months ago or something, 5 months ago. You have to go and like search a specific word, and it can be a real pain in the ass.
You just that's like Taylor Lorenz, she'll find everything on your Twitter.
Yeah, of course. If Taylor Lorenz will be able to dig up anything, but I just wanted to, like, YouTube is gonna be an easy way to actually just like
Rachel Gilmore. She's like the Canadian offshore version of that. So
yes,
she's fill it out for less money.
You're the Taylor Lorenz of Canada, and she said thank you. I have a screenshot of that.
Yeah, I know. I actually reported on your screenshot of that because
she took it as a compliment. Like,
of course.
Did you see her get banned yesterday? Were you up for that, Clyde? Did you watch that go down?
I heard about it. I don't
got
know what
banned.
She got banned for. That's the question.
Not sure, like doxing stuff. I think something related to doxing.
Well, she's back already. So.
She's already back, but like she went on Twitch, she went on TikTok, like posting videos.
I love
she ban evaded a lot of these ban evasions this week. Are you seeing like these people that are getting banned from Twitter and then they're going on like their dogs' accounts, like Keith Olbermann?
Oh my god, that's funny. So I mean, I thought that would be a badge of honor. You get banned from the place that you didn't want to be anyway, and you were going to migrate from.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So guys, I just got to jump in really quick because Alex Woods, a good friend of the channel, he's jumped in and he fields. I don't know if you guys have seen my past streams, but he fields a lot of my voicemails for me because I get a lot of harassing phone calls. And Justin Trudeau, he's got some kind of weird obsession with me. He's been calling me a lot and leaving really nasty voicemails and really sexually explicit voicemails. So Alex has fielded another one, so we're going to jump into that really quick. I just want to play his voicemail and find out what's going on here with Hair Justin. Let's hang on.
Yeah, this is the Polyev one. I saw this.
Maybe it's not Justin. Maybe it's not
the guy who did the deep fake about you.
Yeah, that's
book?
right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the guy.
Oh, let's see this.
Whoa, that's
not playing. The audio's off.
Hail the chat, by the way.
That's the
hail the chat.
Everybody in the chat, welcome.
I clicked on his video.
Honesty, accountability,
integrity and
loyalty. Okay, brethren. Hail the chat.
Hail to the chat. That was the wrong message. Okay, here's our voicemail. Here we go.
Hail the chat from James Lucas. Clyde,
I'm not hearing anything.
I'm not hearing anything either.
Oh, hold on. You guys aren't hearing it?
No. You got you.
Hang on a sec.
It's probably in Streamlabs. Anyways.
Let me
this is StreamYard that you're using, right?
StreamYard.
Yeah.
StreamYard. What are people going to say? We're getting some hail in the chat. Alex Wood said wrong message. He's the one who made the video. We're going to play this, Alex. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Right. Your deep fake of Trudeau is hilarious.
That's really
good. Working, Derek?
Let me see.
Oh, quick play.
I'll
could possibly in your app.
I'll try to.
We can read more comments here. Polyev isn't going to reveal any of his plans before there's an election called, so he doesn't show any of his cards. That's actually 100% true. Like, it's strategically disadvantageous.
What are his plans?
Like, no, his actual platform, right? Like, if he releases his platform right now, Clyde, the Liberals have like more time to pick it apart, right, and strategize against it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, absolutely. I think I got it. Let's see if we can hear it now. Can you guys hear it now?
We can't hear anything.
Nothing,
man.
What the hell?
Joel's saying, "Hey gang, I'm new here and I was wondering if I can ask the panel a question, if you don't mind."
Yeah, go ahead.
You guys go on with the chat for a second.
Fill the chat with questions and we'll get to as many as we can.
Yeah, I'm reading them. I'm scrolling down and reading them. How do you do this? I'm new to this.
I put this out on Twitter. Hopefully, some more people come, and I'm gonna put this on in the Discord as well.
We have the same pop filter, Clyde.
Okay, and you even did the crisscross, like
I you know who it was from your video.
Yeah,
crisscross. It was originally not crisscross, and I saw it.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny, little poser. What a poser!
No, it's great, man. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So I'm not
going into this with no knowledge of microphones or anything. So
Well, I just got some new equipment, and I've been testing it out.
What did you get?
A happy little elf sent me some new microphones. And
a happy little elf.
Yeah.
What do you mean? The fat guy in the red coat sent you some new microphones. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What kind of microphones?
Shure SM7B. That's this
nice
microphone. I had to get some amplifiers to make them work different. I can show you. Switch mics here.
No problem.
So this is the Shure SM7B. I mean, maybe you don't hear a lot of difference.
I hear the difference.
Oh, you can hear the difference.
I can hear the difference in quality.
Okay, so they're just different kinds of mics, and they're going to be used for different applications. I'm still going to be using this one for my everyday stuff.
Yeah.
I have a pair of these for podcasting. I'm going to be setting up.
You're doing a podcast, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be setting up set up in here for if people come here to my studio to do podcasts. But then I'm also working on a mobile setup to go out and chat with people when I'm traveling, or if somebody comes to the major city near me, and I can
in terms of that, like, man, it's gonna cost you money, right? To say,
absolutely,
is it even cost beneficial for you to like fly out to Toronto to do like one podcast or something like that? You would probably lose money, right?
If I flew out to Toronto, but if I went to
stay in a hotel, you have to stay overnight
there. I could. No, I wouldn't have to.
If you, as long as you keep it in the Vancouver area, you're fine. But if you have to go to the Maritimes, Toronto,
Montreal, a lot of people go through Vancouver eventually, and if I just catch people at the right times,
that's perfect. Okay, so yeah, so people
for them.
How close are you to the tourist area of Vancouver?
About a 45-minute drive from downtown Vancouver.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's sweet. Good. That's sweet.
So the idea is to have a mobile setup so I can just rock up and if they go well, who knows? Maybe I'll get a van that's a mobile setup. So
like Steve-O, like his van?
Yeah, like Steve-O. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a wild. It's dope the way he has it set up. Right?
Yeah, and I just there's not enough people in Canada doing like big like actually having these conversations about like interesting things, and I want to bring that to people. I'm not going to take away from what I normally do. I'm not going to take. This is something I really want to do. You know?
No, you're going to crush it. You're going to crush it. It's just ironic that you're just setting this all up right as the world's going to shit and Bill C-11's coming in. And all the censorship laws and oh my god, I hope to God that's not.
Well, maybe the world will start being interested in what's happening in Canada. Apart from we lost our host.
We lost our host. Oh, okay.
We lost our host. I don't know what happened there.
he's probably still working on that video where he couldn't get the audio. Yeah. Bill C-11 passed, right? It's gonna happen now. Now I guess we're gonna have to see what it's gonna be. Like you're gonna stay in Canada. You're not just leaving.
It passed.
Didn't it? Isn't it? Is it going to pass or it's like 100%?
Well, they reckon it will, but I don't think it has.
Okay, it didn't 100. It didn't pass.
No, it hasn't passed row cent. Not yet. I think there's still one more reading,
and but it's going to pass by all counts.
Well, right? Yeah,
what could stop it?
They're starting to. There's enough pressure from. What could stop it? A trade war. That could stop it. That's it's a big fear about what's going on there.
Trade war, like within with Google, like a digital, like a social media trade war.
No, YouTube a trade war with the United States. So the United States has said you're treading on thin ice here. You're going into territory where you're actually saying $1.1 billion worth of cross-border sales won't be allowed, or you're gonna step in and start regulating that. You can't do that without consulting with us, because we have trade agreements on other things. So they're saying, if you do that, well, we're going to put trade embargoes on other things, right?
Okay, it's more than just the content. There's
no, $1.1 billion worth of cross-border between America and Canada, just in YouTube revenue alone.
Yes, like exactly. Okay, insane amounts of money, right?
Yeah,
and it plays on both sides of the border.
Absolutely.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that.
Sorry, I'm just putting this in the Discord so people can join in with the pleb.
Hello.
On there. I'm still here. I'm just I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on here.
No,
Why
I'm
we
saying
can't
to
get audio?
everybody that I'm on Derek's channel with the pleb.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't use StreamYard. I use OBS, and then I use an interesting software called OBS Ninja. It's little known about. I encourage many more people who do this kind of stuff to use that software. It's great.
Yeah, I've never had an issue doing the audio before. I don't know why it's given me a problem now.
I think they changed it. It's not OBS Ninja anymore. It's VDO.ninja. Go look it up. It's great stuff, and you can make your own stream setup, and it's really good. It's cross-border. Oh, hold on. Did we have that question? We're hearing from. I wasn't watching the chat here. Just a moment.
I'm watching the chat.
Oh, you're watching the chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just getting into other stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this and post it on Twitter saying I'm live. Then we can
so
nitty gritty.
So what's the occasion? Why are we here? What was the calling?
Pleb wanted to get on to talk about his YouTube channel and get some exposure, and I said, "Great, let's do it. Let's shoot the shit and talk about."
It's not really true. I kind of said
going on.
I want to do a stream. I'm bored. No, you came and plugged my YouTube channel on Twitter, and I said, "Oh, we should do a stream." And I said, "Okay, let's do a stream." I'm like, I just felt like I like hanging out on these streams. It's fun.
Nice.
Shoot the shit, like whatever.
I haven't been on enough panels. I feel like a member of the Brady Bunch here.
We will get some good panels. Oh man, this picture. We're gonna get some good panels going.
Question for you, Pleb. What's your mission? What's your goal? What are you trying to do here? What's the main motivation behind getting on YouTube, as well as what you do on Twitter?
Financial freedom, doing what I love, not having a boss, leaving the Matrix.
I do what I do what I love, and I still have a boss. I never quit my day job.
No, you're sick. You're sick. Like I think you're probably at a point where you could probably let go when you're still doing the double grind, which is good for you, right? You have kids. You have pulling
wrenches.
Yeah. You have kids. You have earning money is a good thing. That's a very respectable trait in a man who's like going above and beyond to provide for his family and grind. So it's very respectable that you're doing both still. Awesome.
Domo Bomb is asking, are YouTube streams better than Twitter Spaces?
Are YouTube?
I haven't been in a lot of.
I'm just getting new to these YouTube streams.
Let me see if I can play this voicemail now. Let me just cut you guys off for 1 second. Let's see. Can you hear it now?
Twitter Spaces keep crashing. No, we can't hear it. Twitter Spaces keep crashing. It slows your phone down. At least with YouTube, you guys come in, we could chat. There's video. You could watch the recording the following day. You can do that on Spaces too. But no, this is better than Spaces for sure. But I definitely love Twitter way more. I love Twitter. I love being on Twitter. I wish they could do this on Twitter.
I like YouTube streams, but I think YouTube streams are a different beast altogether. I haven't joined a lot of Twitter Spaces, but I joined yours the other week, Pleb.
Yeah,
and it was an interesting situation. Format? Yeah, it was an interesting situation.
It is.
There's a lot of people listening, but at any time a listener could put their hand up and become somebody who's part of it. And
yep. There's downsides to that too, because then you get people who are poor communicators and talk way too long and monologue it way too long, and that's bad for the conversation.
I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry.
No. But like, you gotta like the flow of the conversation is really important in the spaces, man. You can get in some spaces that are like absolute monologue, and there's like 6 hands up one after the other, and you have to get through those 6 people talking, and you want to kill yourself. But as long as you have a good moderator on Spaces who knows how to move the conversation along, they're pretty freaking awesome, to be honest. Like the ones with Mario, like you've been listening to the ones with Mario Nafal, like with the Twitter files and all that, like with Mario and like Tara and all them, like the big Twitter space.
I listened to one of them.
They're like well moderated. Like that's the way a conversation is. Very well. Yes, the ones with like Ian Miles Strong and all that, those are like well moderated. The conversations flow really good. But when if it's too many randoms, sometimes it can be a disaster, especially when people are drinking too. It could be even worse,
So one thing that I noticed in there is when you actually have conversation with people, it goes a lot different than the texts tweeting back and forth at each other. I believe what was his name? Cody.
Kobe. Captain Kobe.
Captain Kobe.
Yes.
Is he a troll or is he like legit when he says the stuff on his thing? Because he seemed to be like really in agreement with a lot of the things that we were saying. But when you listen,
Kobe's a troll. Kobe's for sure a troll.
He's for sure. He doesn't believe the stuff that he says on his thing.
No.
Okay.
Nah, he's a troll, bro. Like he used to. Hold on, I'm just.
Because you know what I mean. Like you can't tell. You can't tell. So you think somebody's one way, and then you actually talk to them, and it's like, wait a second, what? Okay, we're agreeing on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he had a poll going on the other day that was offbeat, wasn't it?
Fuck, I should have mentioned that, man. That was wild. Like, just like overthrowing his poll. He was off to like an 80% Justin Trudeau victory. Who would you rather have a beer with? And I saw that and it was like 80% Trudeau and I got triggered. I'm like, fuck, okay. We got to fix this. We got to fit 4,000 votes in. 4,000 votes is a lot of votes on Twitter for the record, right? So like, it's a pretty good turnout. Man, we made it go viral. Got like close to 20,000 votes. Trudeau gets like 40% by the time we're done with it. We got like giant influencers tweeting out the poll. We have the Canadian gun lobby getting involved. Retweeting Kobe's polls. You know, the gun lobbyists in Canada.
Insane.
You know, it's just like, it's so absurd. We turned Twitter
absurd is the right word because like we're talking about
the Twitter poll. Look.
Who would you have a beer with, Justin Trudeau or Pierre Poilievre? And it's like
Twitter's fighting over it seriously. Yeah,
And
then it's like, who won the poll? We're gonna win it. There's no win or lose.
Voting on
the whole thing's
the
a
outcome
lose.
of the country.
The whole thing is a lose. It's so ridiculous. The whole concept's a lose.
Oh man, and then so yeah, we just destroyed him. It was too funny. Like there's like influencers in the United States that are like tweeting out his poll. It's like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, this is so good. It's like such a dumb thing. Like, dude, who would you want to have a beer with? You know, and we're fighting the culture war over a fucking Twitter poll on Kobe's wall.
Yeah, here he is. Pleb and his crew won the poll in regards to who would you want to have
this is the second poll. He did one like the following day, and I said too soon, but like, yeah.
Who do you want to run the country? Well, 58 went to Pierre.
Well, that's because I tweeted it out right away. This one, I retweeted it within the first 100 votes or something, so I got it out super early, and like it was a beating. Like it was like the first 1,000 votes on that. It was like pretty tight, and then game over. Yeah, I even celebrated Kobe's poll.
I'm not gonna say that one out loud, Rob. Sorry. I think that's against the terms of service here on YouTube.
Pierre got 59-40 for Trudeau on who to have a beer with.
Unreal. Yeah, look at the votes. So I got to that poll with 4,000 votes, and it had like 4 hours. There was like
almost
19 hours left. 19 hours left. Okay, I was 5 hours into the poll. 19 hours left. I caught it at like 10 p.m. at night, 11 p.m. right before people go to bed, and I just went like absurd with it. I just lost it and started pushing it out, tagging people. I'm tagging like Theo. So I'm like, Theo, can you do this for me? He's like, listen, bro. He replies me. He's like, listen, bro. I like you, bro, but like I hate both these guys. I don't trust either. I'm like, bro, it has nothing to do with if you like Pierre, if you like, it's about trolling Kobe. But like some people, they wouldn't vote. They can't even click the button. But there was some PPC bros, like Normal Guy, who came out and tweeted like, hey man, I hate Pierre Poilievre and I hate Justin Trudeau. I hate both of them. I'm a Maxime Bernier guy. But you know what? I'll never vote for Pierre in my life, but we got to vote for Pierre on this poll just to ruin Kobe's day. He's like a giant like PPC influencer.
Oh, that's really funny.
It's two jokes, man. Just because Kobe's been spending like months and months like just kicking the hornet's nest, and like riling people up. So it's fun to watch him like get it. You know what I mean?
Twitter's a strange world. Like I got into Twitter in June when the book went viral.
Yeah.
So here somebody was asking if we could read the tweets from Trudeau asking if people want to ask questions. This was my tweet to Justin Trudeau. 2,000 likes, 139 retweets. I said, "Will you sign my book when I come back to Ottawa in February?"
I made a video where I like read some of these best comments, man. Some of them were fucking hilarious, dude. Like there's some people are just Theo, like, are you the son of Satan? Or like, what do you say? Like, are you?
Did you stop? Here's Viva. Did you stop teaching at a Vancouver private school under what Snopes referred to as the cloud of a sex scandal? Like Viva didn't prisoners, man.
Debbie Bloodcott's like Viva was like a dude hitting the replies like a crack pipe, going absolutely crazy. Like Viva has like 50 replies in there.
He's got a lot of the top ones here. Is it true Klaus Schwab and the WEF penetrated over half the Canadian cabinet? Do you think it is morally unacceptable to be giving billions of dollars to Ukraine while not having enough money to properly care for sick Canadians? Who then, out of despair, turned to government-assisted death as opposed to life? Like, look at this. It just like there's like 12 tweets by Viva.
Oh, Viva went nuts. Like Viva was the biggest. He did not win the who won the ratio? It was Kean Bexley won the ratio, and he asked him, "Why did your net worth go up so much during the?"
Corey Morgan from the Western Standard. When did you first realize you're a black man trapped in a white imbecile's body?
So savage, eh? Yeah.
Theo, have you sworn an oath to worship Lucifer?
It's like so on brand for Theo, man.
Did Fidel let Pierre watch, or did he just sit outside the door? Like, come on.
Ouch.
Oh my God. I'm trying to find Keenan Bexley's.
He should be at the top. 15K.
Curious here. What has caused your net worth to explode over the course of the pandemic? Like, savage. Yep. Absolutely. Oh,
it's a bloodbath. It was an absolute bloodbath. And you know what, Clyde? Did you see that video that Pierre put out that day that was starting to go viral? Like the "Is Canada Broken?" like political attack video.
I saw the response. I don't know if I saw the video.
You didn't watch the 1.5-minute video. Anyways, it was like a really good video that just slayed Trudeau. And like he went out an hour and a half later on his Twitter, like with that cell phone video, like, "Hey, Canada, I'm going to be answering a lot of questions from the media here in the Christmas season. Would you like have a question for you?" Like,
has he answered any of those questions?
I haven't seen a single answer.
You think he'll actually release a video on Twitter answering like the most softball? Did you see like in the video I put, like there was like a CBC reporter asking him like, "Do you have time to like talk with have breakfast with your wife in the morning, and how's your daily routine?" Like just like the dumbest softball question you've ever seen, man. Yeah, but other than that, it was just I had to really dig to find that CBC softball because it was just a bloodbath in there, an absolute bloodbath.
Sorry guys, Alex jumping in. Do you want a YouTube link? So for some reason I can't get the audio from a browser working, Alex. I'll do a video on those voicemails later this week. We'll definitely get those messages out there. That should make for a good video. So we'll get it out, just not on this chat, I guess, today. My apologies. I'll get it figured out for the future.
For sure.
What do we got here from CB? Trudeau just lost it. Canada is not broken.
Oh yeah, he lost it at the press conference. Like he took massive offense to people saying it's broken. I'm like, what world do you live in that this country's not broken? There's like record food bank usage. You know,
where did Pierre Poilievre say it was broken?
He did a video on it. It was a really good video. Like it went viral. I don't know if he put it on YouTube or if it was just on Twitter.
No, that was the response. There was a
response. Yeah,
it was a response. It was Trudeau at the press conference saying that, like, Pierre spreads conspiracies and misinformation, and Canada's not.
This
broken.
Is Canada. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's on my wall. Whatever. It's even on my YouTube channel. Plug the video, but no, I broke down that press conference in a video that where Trudeau, all his bullshit.
Yeah, I gotta find that clip.
Yeah, he's so. I mean, look, the thing I struggle with.
No, the one where he's in English Bay and he's talking about the drug problem.
Yeah.
No,
not that one.
Well, it said the Pierre Poilievre, everything feels broken.
Maybe it was in the House of Commons.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Trudeau. Sorry, that's that was the video where he said everything's broken.
Yeah, everything is broken.
It is. It's well, and here's the thing.
Okay, let me tell you something. So we went to Vancouver yesterday,
right?
And then we went to go visit my rents, and I'm not going to tell you where they live, but they're like past Vancouver, anyway, we had to go. We're coming back, and we go through Vancouver. We wanted to stop at the Japanese supermarket and show my mother-in-law, who's from Tokyo, where we get our groceries. I don't know why my mom or my wife wanted to show my mother-in-law this. It is a thing. She's like, hey, come check out like a novelty thing of like how we find Japanese food. Anyway, it's near Hastings. So I'm like, hey, would you like to see what the grossest, worst neighborhood in Canada looks like? She's like, okay. And so we drove through East Hastings.
Tent city.
There's just tents everywhere, junkies. Yep. We saw people doing like, dude, in a just like out in the open, lighting up some crystal meth or crack or whatever the heck it was.
Horrible.
People shooting up, like no joke. It's just out in broad day, right in the forefront. It's just they look like zombies. There's thousands of them. It's insane. Yep. And drove her through there, and then she's like, "Oh, where does it end?" And then I'm like, "Well, here." Right in the middle of downtown, and then it goes right into the business district.
Yep,
that's Vancouver.
Yeah, it's funny. It's almost like a literal line in the sand, right? Like where it just ceases, and it's nothing like I've ever seen before. Like we ended up on Hastings when I was there in September. We took the kids to the Science World or whatever, and we were trying to get back to our hotel. And my brother, who lives in Delta, was with us. And I turned off onto Hastings, and he goes, "Oh, dude," he says, "we're in Hastings. You don't want to be here." And I'm sitting at a red light, just completely dumbstruck by everything that's going on around there. Because again, I've never seen anything like it. Like I've seen the homeless issues in Calgary, but it's nowhere near what Hastings is. And my wife's sitting in the car taking pictures and shit. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything." I'm like, "Well, don't take photos. They're going to jump on the car. Like, stop it." You know,
no, they're not.
Just no, they're like, not. Leave them alone. And she's like, I'm like, "You're glorifying this." She's like, "No, it's because I just can't believe what I'm seeing here." Like, she's like, this is
Canada. It's not.
Yeah. She says, I'd explain it to somebody and they'd straight up. Yeah. She says, I'd tell somebody about it and they'd never believe me. She says, it's just disgusting that this is what the country's turned into. And I said, well, if what they're saying is going to happen in 2023 is any different, you get ready to see it in more places. Cause like I've seen it at the grocery store this weekend. There was a lady at our local Walmart talking about, we can't get this. We can only buy gifts that are or less than $9 or something. Like people are stretching their last dimes just to survive. And I don't know what's going to happen next year if rates go up anymore, but we'll see.
The California of Canada. Yeah. Well, it's the warmest place. That's where all the junkies go. Cause
it's true.
And they have like the safe injection needle clinics or whatever. This is what they, this is what they're saying, or this is what they're offering. But, and they say that it's because, well, look at the Netherlands, look at all these places that did it. Well, they didn't do it like Canada did. It wasn't run by the government. And when it's run by the government, then everyone's eligible and you can't be denied the service. And then it just becomes a new welfare system for drugs. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yep. Just another way to continue the habit, right? Like, and that's like, we lost
kicking the can down the road is what it is. And then you're just like, you're appeasing people who have the most worst destructive habits out there. And holy cow, like, yeah. And it's making things worse across the country too. I mean, I was just in Sudbury, Ontario. Maybe it was towards the end of the summer, and I went downtown Sudbury, Ontario, and it's another crack town. It's crazy, and like my family who were locals there, they were telling me like this is it's worse. It's worse than it's ever been.
Yeah. Amnesty, they're saying the unvaccinated are causing accidents. You know what? Clyde had a really good video on that last week.
I did a follow-up. I did 2 videos.
Did you do a follow-up? I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to check that out. That's God.
Man, I said, is that a COVID parent tweet when they write shit like that? Like how like that is literal satire, right? That's Babylon Bee.
Which level. COVID? Oh yeah.
Like man, it's comedy. This is not real. It's not real. Like who writes these articles?
Well, I had it up. I don't have it up anymore, but it was
who was the journalist
that wrote that article about COVID, unvaccinated people being
accidents? Yeah.
It was worse. It was a physician. It was a physician who did a study, and he wrote the paper. And it was like Sunnybrook Research Institute. And so he starts with this premise, and this is wagging the dog, and this is how science isn't supposed to work, right? You wag the dog by starting with a premise and then working your way into a conclusion, or working your way into proving it by making sure you find the data that suggests what you want.
So kind of like Nick Nano's polling.
Like Nick Nano's polling.
Literally, just do it till you find the result.
Yeah. Just keep going until you get the results that you want. Yeah, Sunnybrook Hospital. So what it was he started with the premise saying, like, people who don't get their vaccines, they are very risky people. They're willing to take these giant risks. And so then he extrapolates from that they probably get in more car accidents than everybody else. And then he just finds data to try to suggest or find a correlation between the two groups, where you can't really find all the people who are in car accidents and see if they were vaccinated or not. That data doesn't exist, but he just kind of like flubbed it. And it was gross. It was gross. And then they, of course, because it's like a physician, the news media goes and they just run with it. I mean, now if a physician came out against vaccines or against masking or any of the protocols, they'll say, oh, he's a tinfoil hat, he's a
anti-vaxxer, crazy,
kick him off Twitter.
Conspiracy.
But if a physician says the stuff that they want, then they'll run with the story. And every media outlet ran with it. It was funny because I saw it like a few days before and was like, this isn't gonna fly. Nope, it flew. And they all ran with it. And by the time I did my follow-up, even more had run with it. It was ridiculous. And then Paul Minder Singh on Twitter, who's been doing a bang-up job. If you're not following him, go give him a follow. He uncovered some of the funding that went behind it. So it turned out the government was giving out grants to doctors for the purpose of doing research in order to promote vaccine uptake in the population.
How the hell did he find that?
I don't know how he found it, but he sure found it. And It has the doctor's name on it that ran the study as being a recipient of $50,000 from the Canadian government in order to do just that, do research in order to make people want to take vaccines.
That's wild.
Yeah, have you guys seen, do you guys ever watch that Awaken with JP channel on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
I love JP.
Did you guys see the new one about Maid that he did?
Man, I started watching it. Yeah, 2 days ago. Yeah, he posted.
So I think I posted the link in your Discord, Clyde, but there's a good video he just put out where he's playing himself and the doctor, obviously, and he comes in and he's like, yeah, I'm depressed. And he's like, oh, good, we'll just give you assisted suicide. And he's like, I don't want that. And he's like, well, if you go untreated, it's actually worse for you. Like it's really good. Like, and then he goes to another patient.
Go untreated.
Yeah, and he's like, I'll take the prescription then. And he's like, oh, but that's not as good as assisted suicide because it costs us more to look after you. And then it goes over to the next guy and he says, yeah, my ankle hurts. It's like I can't walk properly. He's like, we should probably give you assisted suicide. Like it's really, really funny. I would definitely recommend going.
You know what's crazy? That's not even parody though. Is in Germany, they're actually denying people assisted suicide if they had not been vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's not even parody. That's a real story.
Yeah, I know. That's real, dude. Did they arrest someone in Ireland, teacher, for not using students' pronouns? Did you cover that story, Clyde?
No.
Okay.
I haven't heard of that.
Oh, man.
Arrested for not using pronouns?
It doesn't shock me anymore. I don't get shocked when I hear this. I used to be like, oh my God, are you serious? Now it's just like, eh.
Yeah, exactly. This used to be like a shocking story, right?
Yeah. Now it's just like, again, come on, guys.
I think pronouns are an interesting thing, though. It's like, I have no problem if somebody wants pronouns or some mystical pronouns to be said. I'm just never going to speak to that person. Yeah, like that's it. Like you just rendered yourself uncommunicable, and in turn unemployable too. Because if you came to my business and it said pronouns on the thing, I'm probably just not gonna get a call back. Like that's really all it is. And okay, say it's discrimination. No, It's just,
who wants to deal with that headache?
No, because it's grift culture, right? They only do the pronoun game so that you'll mess up. Sorry, I don't want to swear. You'll mess up, and then they can file grievance against you. It's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like nobody's like, because what's the point of the pronouns then if there's no grievance if you don't use the pronouns?
Right.
It all ties into, okay, I want to grift a bunch of people, and I want to use the human rights tribunals for that purpose.
Yeah,
it's a moneymaker.
It's funny you say that, because my niece, she has pronouns. I don't know if they drank bad water or what it is, but she's coming to visit, and she says to me, I identify as non-binary, and I said, listen, stop. Like I said, I can't take you serious when you say this stuff. And she says, stop it. Okay, just stop it. But she says, I can't, like I said, I can't take you serious. And she got mad and said, well, what would you say if I said I was gay? I said, I'd say good for you. I'm happy for you. Like if that's what works for you, great. And she says, but you have a problem with non-binary. I said, I have a problem with
I don't have a problem with anybody saying anything that they want to be. I don't care. It's their business.
I just don't play the game. I'm a lot like Ben Shapiro, where I say I'm not going to cater to fake realities to make you feel better. Like if you tell me this is your sexual preference, good for you. If this is how you want to live, good for you. But if you ask me to pretend you're a horse, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to play fake imaginary games with you just to make you feel fuzzy and cozy inside, right? Like it's silly.
Yeah, or I'll just say you all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what you got to do to get around it, but yeah, no, it's not something that I'm willing to engage in. It's essentially, it's be whoever you want to be what you are, but pronouns are not up to you. They're not up to you. Pronouns are for those that are trying to describe something. We use language to describe the world around us and to paint a clear picture of what it is that we're actually trying to explain to somebody else. And if we start saying, interrupting people in what they're trying to say and what they're trying to explain, well, you're interrupting the conversation. And it's not up to you to say what your pronouns are. If you get where I'm going with this.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
If somebody looks like a woman but was born a man and I don't know that, of course, I'm just going to say she or her as pronouns. I mean, that's just me describing the world around me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're like got a dingus, I'll be like, oh, crazy. That woman looks like a woman. She, whatever. I would still say that because that's the way they're presenting and looking.
Yep.
But then, so that was the original thing. And a lot of people just went along with it because they're like, okay, well, someone who's female presenting, I'm not gonna bend over backwards to do a Ben Shapiro and say he or whatever if they look like a woman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
if that makes
when they
them
come
happy,
up with these other weird ones like Zim and Zur, they're just not naturally in my vocabulary.
Man,
and I'm not getting on that train. It's
what about the people who identify as animals? Like I see some libs of TikTok videos where there's like teenagers who are like, I identify as a bird, and they're saying that shit with like a straight face. Have you seen something like those crazy ones? Like they'll even put like litter boxes inside classrooms now to accommodate.
Oh, that was debunked.
They need rubber rooms.
Okay, thank God. Okay, see, look, Pleb spreading fake news. But but yeah,
rubber
this
rooms,
is heading in.
Like that. That's really what we need.
You can identify as whatever you want, and people have to respect it.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't see the problem. But I don't have to play along. Is all.
No, because if in the same breath you say people can identify as anything that they want to be, and they tell you that they're a conservative, and you don't respect that, well, then the game's off. You've just changed it.
I had that argument at a bank once.
But then go to the other extreme. Go to the extreme. Kanye West identifies as a not the other N word.
Yeah.
Right. And are you going to respect that? I mean, most people won't. Most people won't. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine to not respect people. respect is earned. Respect people that are respectable. That give you a reason to respect them. I mean,
have you ever had Karima on your channel, Clyde, for like a one-on-one?
Kareem? No, I haven't. Karima. No, I haven't.
You should get her on your channel, man. She's got some wild content. Like she covered the convoy. She covered the convoy, and like she's a leftist, so whatever.
What is her story?
She's I'm
interested.
She's like a pothead lawyer from Toronto who makes videos, who covered the convoy. She like involves herself in the culture war issues. She's always there.
Yeah, I'm confused by it though, because she hated the convoy, but then she also hates the media, and she didn't like the.
Yeah, she hates Doug Ford. Now like Antifa is coming after her, and she just released a tweet saying 2023 will be all about Antifa. So
I'm not on her radar. Are you on her radar?
She follows me. We DM each other. You
should tell her that I would like to have her on.
Yeah, no, you should have a conversation with her. And like some of the week, she's the one who went to Boston Pizza and like covered like the Boston Pizza drag shit last week. I don't know if you saw those Boston Pizza videos.
That was what I was surprised by, because I was like, okay,
that's her, right? So she's always involved
into the other category. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People have their own opinions about things, and it looks like I obviously agree with some things that her views that she holds, and I disagree with others.
It's interesting. I think she's slowly getting red pilled. Like Antifa want to kill.
Is that what it is? Maybe. Yeah,
maybe. She served like libel papers to Erica Eiffel. You know who Erica Eiffel is?
I do.
Yeah. Like she's gangsta. Like I don't mess with Karima. Karima, you scare me. I'm scared. I don't want to get sued, man. No way.
I'd love to have a chat with her.
I'm just joking, but she's a cool person. You should definitely get her on your channel.
Well, you have DMs with her, so
yes,
let her know I'm interested.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's not going to be hostile. It's going to be like,
no.
I want to pick her brain and see where she's at with things.
Yeah,
it interests me. Or genuinely.
No, but she's been covering these drag queen shows now, like recently, and like
right.
The far left hate her.
Yeah, like see if she'd be into doing like a podcast, like a long form.
Yeah, for sure. I'll ask her for sure. Yeah, she's interesting. I used to hate her. Now, whatever.
I don't hate anybody. I'm disappointed by people's behavior.
It's not that. It's because like I was very emotionally attached to the convoy, and I was seeing like how the media was like bashing them, like unfairly bashing them with propaganda. And like when I saw someone like Karima going out to the convoy and offering her left wing coverage, which was not favorable whatsoever to the convoy too much either, it upset me because I felt like we needed allies against a machine in that spot, and they were not one of our allies. But it is what it is.
This is a good thing though. Like the idea of having conversations with people that you disagree with on topics is the way out of this.
Of course,
100%. Because polarization is the way we got ourselves into this. Like, oh, you have a different opinion on this than me. Okay, you're in the other box, and I'm in this box. And that's why I laugh at the Pierre versus Trudeau, who you're going to have a beer with thing, because it totally fuels that crap. And I don't buy into that. So
it's just, it's
so dumb. This is so dumb.
It's funny. So
man. Dumb.
That's funny, bro. People are so emotionally invested in that poll. It's just, to me and Kobe are just sitting there laughing our asses off.
It's
like Kobe, but the thing is, Kobe originally put that tweet out because he has a very liberal following, right? Like he has the most liberal following on Twitter. He's like the Brooklyn
That's why I thought he was genuine.
Canada. Yeah, but like that poll was supposed to like be good, like at least 70% Trudeau, right? Like that should have been a landslide for Trudeau. He just wanted to put that poll out there so he could dunk on libs. I took it upon myself to change destiny with regards to that poll. But yeah, people.
He embraces the libs to dunk on libs. It's so funny. It's
just so funny. And then I even made a video dancing about dunking on liberals. After that, it is.
Let me be honest. If you guys, let's get an honest opinion.
Man, I gotta upload that to
YouTube.
Here.
If you guys had the chance to seriously sit down in a room, whether it's a beer or not, and have a private discussion where they don't get offended or get up and leave the room, they don't ignore what you say to them, just a genuine one-on-one conversation, who would you rather between the two of them to sit down and talk to?
Let Clyde answer that.
I have to calculate that. So I know Trudeau's on the out, so it would be kind of because of that. it's not even worth my time to talk with Trudeau. I mean, not that it's not worth my time. I would sit down and talk with Trudeau if I was given the opportunity. But if I had to like make a choice, Pierre is the one who's going to be the prime minister. I mean, like, I would
he's
be very
the prime
surprised if
minister.
he's not going to be the prime minister in the future, in 2025 or whatever it is. So I would want to know what and pick his brain so I know where we're headed in the future, right? But
okay, so
if I was like void of that dichotomous choice there, if I was given an opportunity to sit down with Trudeau in like a real situation where it's not like I'm gonna do a gotcha and you're gonna try to avoid that and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I'm talking no cameras, no nothing, just a one-on-one. And people keep saying in the chat, oh, he's not going to answer your questions. Let's say hypothetical, because there's no cameras, there's nobody there, there's no recordings, he would generally answer your questions. That's what I'm asking. Who you want to pick
again, because Trudeau's on the outs, like his political career is over. As soon as the Canadians get to decide where his political career goes, right? I don't see it as beneficial to waste that choice. I would want to talk to the person who's going to be our prime minister.
The thing is, man, I think I would go with probably Pierre, but not for the reason that Clyde would go, because I'd rather talk one-on-one with Pierre because I have a lot more questions about him. I know what Trudeau's about. Like, we've had 6-7 years of this. I know what he's about, the globalism. I know exactly climate change. I know the evil behind him. I know the machine behind him. I have questions with Pierre. We don't know a lot about Pierre. We don't know if we could fully trust him. But you know what? We probably can't fully trust him. He's a politician, man. Like what an idiot trust politicians. Like, how many...
So I'm laughing at the chat. I'm laughing at the chat because Sigma Prime says, our prime minister is our next prime minister is going to be Juggers.
You think it's going to be Jagmeet?
Even Trudeau laughed at him when he said that.
Even the liberals were laughing at him. That's the funniest part, is that like the liberals are laughing at him too. Like the whole House of Commons, it was like both conservatives and left and right were both just making a mockery of this dude.
Because nobody's they know his career is done.
Yeah,
he walked away from his NDP support. He walked away from all of them to hand all the power to Trudeau. Here you go, on a silver platter made by union workers. Like, that was
so. I'm going to chime in on that question just because
that's some WEF shit though that made him do that. That's the WEF connection that made him cave there.
So, being the guy who wrote the book about Justin, that poked at him, that did all these things, if I had the opportunity to sit in a room with either one of those gentlemen, well, I don't want to say gentleman for Trudeau because he's not, but I think I would take Trudeau only because I would want to sit in a room with him and just genuinely ask, why? Like, you're a father, you have children who live in this country. I understand you're lining your pockets, your bank account, it's all about money, it's about your friends. But when this is done, like, how do you live in a world where you can't be proud of what you've accomplished? How do you wake up and feel good in the morning? Like, and it's not to scrutinize them, it's just to understand, like, does it just suck being you? Like, I think that's the reason I'd want to sit down with them, is just to find out. No, I'm talking about Trudeau. Like, if Trudeau or Pierre in a conversation, I think I'd almost want to sit down just to see if I could find the real non-political Justin to say, like, why would you do all this to people? And why would you put people through this for no matter what kind of gain? Like, what does it take to sell out a country at the end of the day, even for money? Like it's kind of like, look, and this
what
is
if you didn't like the answer? What if the answer was he actually believes?
It's not a matter of whether I like the answer or not. It's like, what I'm trying to get at is that for anybody with any kind of emotion, and I'll just use this example, even though it has nothing to do with politics. If I went out tomorrow and cheated on my wife and she didn't find out, I would live the rest of my life feeling soulless and empty. And every time I look at her, I would feel that guilt of knowing what I did. And with a guy like Trudeau, like, I just want to know, when you look at your country, when you look at what you sold it out for, whether it's WEF, whether it's, your bank account, whether it's policies for friends, when this is all done, when the ride's done, when you're out of the office, when you look at your children, how do you live with that? How do you say you're a good human being? How do you retire and look at yourself in the mirror? You know what I mean? Like, those are the things I'd want to ask. It's not because I have sympathy for him. It's just more to understand, how do you live like this? How do you?
I don't think people like utopians think that they're doing the wrong thing. I honestly don't think that they do. I think the guys like Klaus and Chrystia Freeland and Justin Trudeau and David Lametti, all these guys, they think what they're doing is the best move for the world in the future. They actually believe this stuff. They don't. It doesn't matter how many eggs you have to crack to make their omelet. You know what I mean?
I get it. I just think for my own personal satisfaction, if he had to answer my questions, I would want it because of those. But I mean, again, that's just me.
What if you got the real answer? You're unimportant, and what's important is the future of this utopia moving forward. And
right, useless.
I'd be okay with those answers, because at least it's out there. You know what I mean? At least
it'd be nice to see a little bit of honesty. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where you'll find honesty? You'll find honesty in books like this, The Great Narrative.
I thought you were going to pull up my book.
No. No, I just got this one in. This one is Klaus Schwab's book to follow up to his previous book, the COVID-19, The Great Reset.
Really?
You know?
He has the Industrial Revolution book, or the Industrialization book, AI. He wrote
Fourth Industrial Revolution. These are
AI.
the things that he's. If you want to get what people actually think, read their words. This is the stuff that they believe in. You know,
they're putting his name on it, but the truth is, did he actually write it? Right? Like, that's. I would hope so, but that shit goes on. It goes on.
I would imagine he wrote it with this other person. So it's
hopefully
Klaus and Thierry Marlet. These are the authors of these.
I know some of those books I've seen, and again, because there's a few people I know that have put out books recently in that style, where they've just given documents to a ghostwriter and they kind of form their own stories, right? So hopefully it's an accurate depiction, because that I don't like that, because to me that's the same as reality television, where you watch reality television and some people are blind enough to think that it's real when it's scripted. You know what I mean?
Well, what you got to understand about these books. So these books are made to give out to world leaders, right? Like you'll go to Justin Trudeau's office and you'll see this book on the shelf, and he's probably read through it. And a number of world leaders around the world. But does he give out all of everything that he really wants to do? All of his plans in this book? I don't know. But he definitely. So the interesting thing about this book, though, is it was written ahead of time, and then it was published with amendments to fit COVID-19. It was written because it was released right after COVID-19 broke. You know what I mean? You could say that they planned that to happen, but no, it's probably the case that he had this book written to send out to all these political leaders around the world, because an emergency time is the perfect time to lobby for more power. And that's Premier Senator Palpatine sort of method, you know?
I saw a picture of Francois Legault on Twitter posted, like, thank you, Klaus Schwab, in 2017. Thank you, Klaus Schwab, for sending me this book. It was written in French, the Fourth Industrial Revolution AI. Like, I think Klaus sends this out to these type of people for sure.
He sends it to everybody. What's his name? Kenny in Alberta. He was like, Klaus sent me his book. He said that in an interview once. He's like, he sent me his book. I had it on my desk. It reads like some corporate mumbo jumbo. And I'm not in with Klaus and his ilk. I don't buy this stuff.
No,
but he said that.
And that's kind of funny, is that everybody thinks, like, with Danielle Smith and all the stuff that's going on with her now, people are like, oh, she's just part of that party. She's no different than Jason Kenney. What people don't understand about Jason Kenney is he was a Federalist. He was always gunning for that federal seat. He had no intentions of doing anything right for Alberta ever. It was always about that federal seat. It's Danielle Smith, I feel, has that genuine love for the province. She has respect for the people within it, and I really hope she seizes the election next year, because I'm like Rachel Notley. I don't see her bringing anything to the table of value to anybody. I mean, she's already shown with her track record.
More unemployment and government jobs.
She's already shown us what we get with her behind the desk, right? So hopefully people aren't stupid enough to put her back in. But like,
I think
people complaining about
just because I said that, I think government jobs should be listed as a net negative when it comes to the job numbers. Like, not a negative number, but like if a government job is created, it shouldn't be counted as employment in the jobs numbers. I think it should be included as like, because it is a net negative on society. It's tax dollars being spent, not tax dollars being generated. Right.
I think what's funny is all the people complaining, especially again, the NDP, about the Sovereignty Act. I don't know if they've ever looked at Saskatchewan. They passed a similar bill not too long ago, and I didn't see anybody putting their arms up in the air about that one. Right. Like I don't know what's going to come out of the Sovereignty Act. The problem that I have in Alberta is that a lot of people I talk to that are outside the major cities are against what Danielle Smith is doing. And that worries me, because if Rachel Notley were to get in again, this province is down the toilet. Like, everything's going to go.
Well, I don't think Notley, or I don't think there's a lot of Notley supporters outside of the province, outside of the cities.
Well, the rurals though. So Edmonton, there are. Edmonton has a lot of
rural Alberta.
No, but they've got a lot of the younger crowd that vote, and that's partially what got Notley her seat the first time around, is that there were a lot of people that didn't like Jim Prentice, and he was running against Notley, and I think the problem in Alberta at that time, at least what I found when I voted in that election, I was really getting sick of the high and mighty attitude that, hey, this is a conservative dynasty. It's been going for 40 years. We're not going to lose our seats. It doesn't matter what we do. I know a lot of people that voted in that election voted to send a message to the Conservatives that your seats are not guaranteed. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people voted NDP without thinking they were going to win. Right. Like, I think a lot of people voted and then were like, uh-oh. Right. Like, as soon as it happened, they're all kind of like, oh shit. We all kind of did the same thing. So I don't know what's going to happen this time around. I think there needs to be rules when it comes to elections in any country, that if you've held the job, you cannot run again if you've been voted out. That's the end of your run. Somebody else has to take the reins going forward. Right. Like, I don't like that Notley's running again, because it's like, how many times is she going to try to do this? Like, she's terrible for this country. She's terrible for the province.
So the NDP have screwed themselves for being the vote against anything, especially like the vote against conservative or vote against liberals. If they ever come forward and say, if you hate the liberals, vote for us, we're the better alternative. Yeah. Everyone's going to look at that as, well, no, you are the Liberal Party. Like, that's that. Thanks, Jagmeet Singh. But I don't know about Alberta politics enough to say what the rural people are thinking.
It's tough because, like, even over the weekend, I visited with some friends of mine that one of them works in the education sector, and they came over and immediately, because they know what I do on YouTube, they know what I do for books, immediately attacked me and said, I don't know why you support Danielle. I could never. And I said, so what are you going to do? Vote for Notley? And they said, you're damn right I am, because she's going to fund education and healthcare. And it's like, oh, you guys, like, you don't seem to realize she's going to fund those things, but the money isn't going to come to you. It's going to go to the higher ups. It's going to go to the union heads. It's going to go to
it's going to go to the union bosses.
All the wrong places. Like, it's not coming down the pipe to you guys. It's like, are you nuts? Like, you're going to pay more. Like, and right after that, they complained about their utility bills. And have you seen the cost of these things? And I said, well, what do you think is going to happen if you vote for Notley? You think it's going to get any cheaper?
Carbon taxes.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like you gotta know what you're at least talking about here. Like, I just, and that's the problem, is that there's a lot of people who have moved to Alberta in the last couple of years that have come from Eastern Canada. And some of them don't share conservative policies. It's what you hear when you hear the typical Alberta stereotype of, oh, you're all rednecks and you're all oil pigs, and like it's the common, label for people out in the stereotype in Alberta, whereas these new folks that are coming out are more left leaning. Yeah. And I think they've said over the last year in particular, like I think Alberta's had 100,000, 200,000 people on census that said they came from the eastern provinces. So that can make a huge difference in votes if they start voting left.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have the same fears in Texas and Florida right now because everybody's fleeing California because they ruined it. Left
Arizona's flipped blue. Arizona used to be always a conservative place.
So Prairie
we don't
Strong
know if it actually flipped blue. We know that they somehow got the elections to go blue.
But that used to be a traditional Republican state for a long time, and now it's like turned blue because of the California exodus. Like you were saying.
Well, no,
that's one of the places that got affected. Yeah,
kind of concerned about that. Well, so like they were always Republicans, but they were always for the longest time they were what's his nuts? The senator from Arizona, the POW guy.
Yeah,
John McCain.
Yeah,
John McCain. Like, I mean, that guy was as rhino as it comes. He was Democrat.
Yeah. Just like I Patch McCain, the new one.
Oh yeah,
Dan Crenshaw. Like Alex Stein loves trolling him. He's Dan
Patch McCain.
Did you see Alex Stein at Barstool headquarters this week?
So the thing is, like Crenshaw says a lot of great things, but then he's like, rah, bomb everybody. And
he's a total rhino. He's a total warmongering rhino. Yeah.
Well, I mean, anyone that comes out of the military-industrial complex is usually in favor of more military-industrial complex, especially someone who's a SEAL. You know what I mean? Unless you're, I mean, there's the one exception, Jesse the Body Ventura, but like that guy's gone somewhere else entirely.
I want governors in every state to be former wrestlers, so that when they all have a problem, they just do like a Royal Rumble and duke it out in the ring. I think that would be great. I think that would be the best way to do politics going forward.
What time are you wrapping this up at, Derek? I was just
about to say we've been creeping up on the 2-hour mark. So I'll probably wrap it up soon.
Do you have any more questions in the chat before I get out of here?
Yeah, I'm going to
questions for the pleb.
I'm going to drop Pleb's channel again, guys. Hop into the Pleb's YouTube channel. Give them.
Please subscribe. I don't know if we have.
Put the link in the chat so everybody can get over there and subscribe.
We've got the link in the chat. Make sure to head over. Drop a sub on this channel if you haven't yet too. Like Jesus, guys, come on. Let's Jesus, Pleb. we gotta get Pleb to 1,000 because he's got to monetize. I mean, look at that backdrop.
I gotta get 4,000. I gotta get 4,000 hours of viewing. I think I only have like 400 or 500, but I figure that probably won't take long to actually get if I keep putting out content.
Just got to make 10 videos a week.
I just got I was going to say the best advice I ever got was from a very wise gentleman who said, put out 2 videos a day, 10 minutes each video, and you'll have it within a month and a half. And you know what? He couldn't have been more correct. And Clyde gave me that advice. And the guy knows what he's talking about with YouTube. Do your 4 or 5 days a week, 2 videos, and you'll hit the algorithm, man. You'll be in.
Yeah. No, I'm going to rely on my Twitter following to hopefully send some views over my way. Hopefully I can leverage
that's a hard one.
I find there's a big separation between Twitter and YouTube that like I'll even post my YouTube videos on Twitter. They don't get many views.
Traction. No. But they get, but everyone on Twitter watches YouTube. Everyone uses YouTube.
It's funny that you say that because that is, but it's like, for me, like I see people put stuff in there all the time. And unless it's somebody I directly follow because of their YouTube, I usually go, I'll check it out later. And then I forget about it. Right. So it's
YouTube links don't do good for engagement ever.
No,
like it's very rare.
I'm hoping Elon will make it like an all-in-one platform, like he's talking. Because I mean, if you could do your videos and
that would be dope. But in case he doesn't, I got to get my YouTube channel going and I got to get like an archive going of my videos so people can organize through them and hopefully one day can be a full-time creator, man. That's the goal.
Well,
I love that.
Thumb SK says I just subbed to the Pleb and it's very creepy there. So I don't know what that means.
Okay, well that's fair. That's absolutely fair. That's fair. It's fair. Look at my on those thumbnails, man. Hilarious video, Rob Hellfire Roy. Which video was hilarious, Rob?
Well, yeah, and that's a good thing about having an archive of your channel and have everything up there. Don't forget to mirror everything to Rumble or something.
Yeah, someone told me that I could actually just port over my entire channel over to Odyssey and get like paid in crypto for views and stuff like that. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, if you want to get paid in whatever, who cares?
Dogecoin or whatever. I mean, it's
no coin. Even Rumble. Like I have all my stuff up on Rumble, and
it doesn't move on Rumble because I heard doesn't move. It's not even worth it, right? But like, I guess it's good to have a backup just in case you get censored on YouTube or whatever.
I think a lot of people like to use it for live streaming. Because what is it?
Viva killed it, right? Viva signed an exclusive agreement with them. Couple 100,000 a year just to do a couple streams a week exclusive on Rumble. That's wild.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, Andrew Tate, like they're signing.
A lot of it had to do with
moves.
So what I got from Viva on that was a lot of it had to do with the censorship. When you look at guys like Steven Crowder, where they're getting pushed off the platform because of censorship. So Rumble's trying to get the big names over there so that they can start hyping up their worth. And lack of censorship and I shouldn't say lack of censorship, but more relaxed censorship. They don't shadow ban or anything like that. So I get it, but I don't want to knock the hustle, man. If somebody came to me and said, I'll give you 6 figures to move to another platform, if it made sense, I'd do it too. You know,
man, I grinded up a Twitter following from nothing. I'm going to figure out how to do YouTube, man. The shit ain't. You just be captivating, right? Put out content that people like.
Just don't do what I did, where you split your channel between politics and something else. Because
no, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'll talk about whatever I want. It'll probably mostly be involving the Twitter world, but whatever.
I tried to do like Clyde 2.0 on my channel, and I did one video where I talked about leaving Arcade 1-Up as a collector because a lot of people talk about my backdrop. And I got 70,000 views on the one video.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit, people want arcade content. So I started doing more arcade videos. But then people who are watching my political stuff go, where's all the politics videos? And it's like, I'm going to split it up evenly, guys. But it's like, now I've put myself in a box. Don't do that. Don't. I might have to start a second
show.
Channel.
My channel is going to be the Pleb Show. It's going to be me entertaining people, clowning the same way I do on Twitter. I will always find new topics. It could be culture wars, it could be politics, it could be pop culture, anything that's entertaining. I just want to entertain people. So
and I think that's where this channel might even go in the future. We'll start talking about movie drama and woke stuff and
that's what I'm going to do. The only thing I'm worried about
what people are tuned into you for. I think that's the most important thing. So
I'm going to go with what I've been doing on Twitter. Like that's why people are tuned into me on Twitter, right? Like I'm keeping the same Twitter formula. And I'm just putting the videos on YouTube. If it doesn't work on YouTube, I don't care. I'm keeping my style. This is how I've always done it, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Like I know a lot of people tune into my channel because they like to hear where the news got it wrong and what the actual facts are, right? I think a lot of it is like, okay, well, I hear stuff about the news. Let's see what Clyde had to say about that. Because that most people tune in because they don't believe what the news are saying.
I've listened to your videos in my truck countless times. Just listening to you in my truck.
And so many people got to that position from the convoy, right? Because they saw what happened in the media because of that. But I think where I want to take the channel is just opening up dialogue between other people that are really, there's a lot of people that care about our country, and then there's a lot of people that care about the Western civilization, and just where it's going. And I really want to have those conversations with people about where we're headed really at the end of the day.
Well, we're headed towards a super polarized country right now. And Clown World is going to have a lot of content. One thing I'm worried about YouTube is like the censorship, which topics I can't cover, which buttons I can't push. Try not to get banned, so many stories I hear about the funniest people on Twitter, how many YouTube channels that they got nuked, so
you can push the buttons. The ones that get nuked, I think, are the ones that are like No,
election denying, like elections.
I'm not playing by your rules. I'm going to say exactly what I want instead of like being clever. I think the best thing about Canadians and Canadian content creators is not just content creators, but Canadians in general. I mean, like, look at the convoy when they were told they can't bring fuel downtown. Everybody went and bought fuel cans, and just it was like I'm Spartacus moment, right? There's clever ways around stuff, and you don't have to openly defy the rules to openly skirt the rules. You get what I'm saying about that? Like, you don't have to get booted from a platform in order to stand your ground on a thing. You can openly say that you're against the thing without openly saying that you're against the thing.
Well, we'll see under Bill C-11, will I be able to say that Castro is Trudeau's father, under the new YouTube?
do you actually think that's true? I don't know if
I mean, no. Pictures. Oh, come on, man. Look at the pictures. Like, I'm not a crazy conspiracy, but the pictures don't lie. Pull up the pictures before we end this chat. Like, we'll end it on that. But like literally look at the picture. Look at his father. His father looks like a friggin' gremlin. Like, Pierre Elliott looks like a gremlin, dude. Like, he's so unattractive.
No, you know what he looks like? He looks like Martin Short when he was playing.
He's unattractive.
I'm not nervous. You're nervous.
Castro's
I'm
good
not being
looking.
defensive. You're the one being defensive. That's what old Trudeau looks like.
Trudeau's good looking.
Funny.
Castro's good looking. Pierre Elliott's like, does not. No, not at all.
Well,
I think there's a better chance that that's his father, that Castro's his dad, than Pierre Elliott.
I think if Castro was his dad, he'd have brown eyes.
Maybe. Does he have blue?
No, Castro had brown eyes.
Let me ask.
Don't know. Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna call it.
I don't know. It is funny.
Pleb, we've dropped your channel twice in the link. So if you guys want to, I'll drop it one more time for anybody who's just jumped in. Go hang out on Pleb's YouTube, sub to his channel, check out his videos. If you're not following him on Twitter yet, he's at Truck Driver Pleb. Make sure to go check him out. And also, I wanted to take a minute to give a big congratulations to Clyde,
who
just crossed the 100,000 sub mark.
We did it.
I unsubscribed just to be a dick. And no, I'm kidding.
And it did nothing.
It did nothing. So Clyde's on the up and up. He's moving up. He's gonna dominate Canadian YouTube. And you know what? This year has been a fantastic year, and this may be my last live stream before Christmas. Might try to sneak one in this week, but it's been a crazy year, and I've made friends with both of these fine gentlemen, and spent time with both of them, and I can't say what an honor and a privilege it's been, and hopefully we can all keep growing together, and we'll definitely see more of Clyde going forward. Hopefully we'll see some great stuff coming up from Pleb, and you guys will see the usual crap from me. So hang in there, and I look forward to chatting with you guys down the line. And if you haven't subbed to Clyde yet, I don't know what you're doing here, but make sure to go over to Clyde too.
Yeah, he's the real content creator.
He needs that gold play button next. So get over. We got to get him to 100,000.
We're ways away from that. Holy cow!
That's top of the mountain. Here it comes. So
here we go. Here we go.
Follow. Hope you guys have yourselves a great night. Have yourselves a great week leading up to this holidays. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.